Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got the latest in the Glock lineup. This is the 17 V. It's one of the first two of the V series that's been released, and there's more to come. This is a 17. It comes with 3 of the 17 round, these are Gen 5 mags, basically, orange follower. Comes with 3 of these. It is fundamentally a Glock 17. It's really based pretty much on the Gen 5 platform. And so it's compatible with all of the magazines that any other 17 would be compatible with, including the really fun ones that you can't talk about on YouTube. One of the things that's interesting about this is the 17, and I believe the 19 or the 45 may be out. And by the time you see this video, I'm sure there'll be more because this is their direction they're going. It's not on their website. So I tried to get exact specs. But knowing this is based on a Gen 5, I can give you the numbers that are the most likely. So 7.95 front to back, which is the same as a Gen 5 Glock 17. 5.47 tall if the flush magazine were in it, and 1.34 thick. So fundamentally a Glock 17, 4.49 inch barrel, and a single slot Picatinny rail. And honestly, if I held this thing out like this and showed it to you and told you it was a Glock 17, you would probably not even be able to tell that it was a V. You'd think it was a Gen 5. Front and rear serrations, standard U-dot sights. This particular one is not optics ready. I'm not aware of any optics ready variants of this out yet, but again, I expect that to change, and you'll have either the MOS platform or more likely they seem to be going more towards that Acros platform that they came out with, but nothing official from Glock. So what I'm saying here is basically my inference. And officially from Glock, this is just the next generation of Glocks. Unofficially, the prevailing word on the internet is that they've made changes to block those switches in response to states banning them and stuff like that. But again, that's not Glock's stance. You'll also notice there's a V stamped on the frame. One thing I did notice about this that's a little different from the Gen 5s is that it comes with 2 back straps. The Gen 5s typically were coming with 4. So they come with 2 that kind of just ended up out here. And then they would come with 2 that had a wraparound extended beaver tail. This came with just the 2 that had the extended wraparound beaver tail. It didn't come with the 2 that ended up here. So I thought that's kind of interesting, kind of trimming down the number of back straps. As far as the other features, the texture, the fact that you can replace the back straps, the reversible magazine release, all of the things that you've come to expect on a Gen 5 are present on this. Ambi slide, stop, slide, release. Same design. When I get it apart, you'll see that internally the gun is basically the same. There are some significant differences that won't affect the functionality other than they would definitely interfere with those ridiculous switches, which again is the prevailing word on the street of why this has come out. The same prevailing word, though, is that that's already been defeated. So, that's a cat and mouse game, just like radar detectors and radar guns. It'll be a perpetual thing. The changes they made internally don't prevent you from using things like a minus connector. That'll still work, but the performance trigger will not. That it's different enough that that won't work. Though I would expect they'll come out with one that will enable a performance trigger design for this series. If you've got holsters and lights and accessories and things like that, the fact that the Gen 5 17 is going away and be replaced by this should be kind of a non-event. One thing I will do, I'll make sure the magazine, of course, it's unloaded. Let's talk about the trigger. Because anytime you make changes to the fire control group, the fear is that you're going to totally wreck the trigger. Minimal take-up, about the same as a Gen 5. The same softish wall that you have on a Gen 5. Roughly the same nice reset, right on the wall, and again that soft wall. Effectively a Gen 5 trigger. For the purposes of what your finger is going to tell at the range, you really won't be able to tell. They're pretty much interchangeable. One thing that I will notice that's different, I have a Glock 19 Gen 5. I don't happen to have a 17. But the one thing that is slightly different that you can see externally is the shape of the features basically on the back plate. There's this is the Gen 5 that's my finger is touching right now, and this is the V. And what you're going to see is on the Gen 5, this feature is squarish, and this one has got a notch in it. And then if I move back to the Gen 5, this feature here is squarish, and this feature has a notch in it. Basically, it's to interfere with those stupid switches. And there's changes internally that I'll show you when I get it apart. But fundamentally, if you were thinking, well, yeah, I wanted a Gen 5, but now, it's that my ideas are ruined because, this is all that's going to become available fairly soon, and I won't be able to use, whatever it is, the holster I've got or the light I've got or anything else. Nah, none of that's going to be a problem. You're going to be able to do whatever you want with it. It weighs 25 ounces, and it's a full 3-finger grip. Notice that my fingers don't even come anywhere near where the magazine would be. So it's a Glock 17 in all purposes. It has the same texture on the front of the trigger guard, the same larger trigger guard designed to be used with a glove. There's the texture, same thumb locator, everything that you would expect to be the same. Where you're going to find some differences is when I take it apart. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to lock it back, make sure it's unloaded, pull the trigger. Okay, so I got the V series apart. I'm going to take apart this 19 for the same reason, to show you the differences. Okay, so I'm going to start with the frames. Now obviously the frame sizes are different. They're two different guns. But when you look at them, they look almost identical. When you look at the fire control group, the features that you can see, everything is pretty much the same. There's some minor differences in the length and shape of some of the components, but nothing significant, nothing material. And they haven't cheapened anything out. It's still got the same robust locking block, the same front rails, same rear rails. The arms for the ambi slide stop slide release are nice and robust. They didn't take this as an opportunity to thin out parts, cheapen parts, and things like that. I think they focused on what they were doing, the goal they had, and that was it. And just for reference, the one here on the top that I'm wiggling is the V. And if I kind of bring them back this way, you can see which one's the 19. So this is a Gen 5, happens to be a 19, and this is the V. Where you're going to see a little more difference is in the slide. So I have the V in my left hand here, and this one is the 19 Gen 5. I put them side by side. You can see there's some features right here on the V. There's some ridges that exist that aren't present. It's smooth on the Gen 5. That's really the extent of the changes in the slide. The striker catches a hair different. It's just shaped a little bit different. It's a little bit narrower and less blocky. But if I go to the front of it, they're identical. Other than obviously the length, because one's a 19. But they haven't really changed anything that would be material to how you want to use the gun or anything else. So I'll pull out the barrel on the V. The barrel block, the feed ramp, the Glock marksman barrel, all of that you've come to expect with a Gen 5 is present on this one. So I'm also wonder why they chose a V, because a V sometimes, Roman numeral 5, it's close enough to a 5 that effectively it is, except for the minor tweaks here at the back. Go ahead and put this one back together. Before I do that though, I'm going to do one last look from an angle that I didn't provide before, and this is the V. So you can see kind of the difference. You can see the shape of there's kind of almost a channel there on the V that is more straight and square on the Gen 5. So overall, minor differences to accomplish a goal, none of which seem to compromise the function of the gun. So let me go ahead and put the V back together so that I can kind of wrap up here. Overall, MSRP is going to be around $650. I've seen them for $550. At the range, it performed just like any Glock I expected. The sights were easy to use. The trigger worked well. It was reliable from the first round to the last round. So really, I don't see any negatives to the V series other than, of course, it's different. It's new. It's not the same. But other than that, I don't see any real negatives. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Rumble. We're pretty much everywhere. And thank you.